The Lima 4F was one of two HO scale locos that the Italian firm of Lima released in the 1970s to try and break into the British market using HO rather than 00 gauge models. It was a failure eventually, and they went into production of most of these models in 00. This is an old one I've had for years, and as you can see, pulled it out of the box, it works. I've never run it before. I actually had this model as a child in 00 and HO with the CIE Irish Railways Flying Snail logo in all black. Now, it seems to be in fairly good cosmetic condition. This livery is quite attractive, but it's not prototypical, so I'm going to go for a black livery. There's a fair bit of dirt in it, some bodywork. There's a missing step, as you can see here behind the driver's cab. And all in all, a repaint and some service on the motor should be fine. The motor is pretty standard Lima pancake-style motor, except a slightly different one. It has spoked wheels, and it's a little smaller than usual. So, to avoid opening them up, which I will always do as a last resort, I run the motor through jewellery cleaner. This is the brand I use. This is like a conductive detergent. It dissolves all the grease and oil and all the particulates. After you've run it through there for a minute or two, place it on a towel and allow it to drip down by gravity. And you can see here the amount of grease, dirt and oil that's removed without me removing a screw or worrying about losing brushes or springs. I've never had problems with this damaging plastic ever. While that was fully drying, I put tape around the driving wheels to paint them, to take the silvery shine off them, using Tamiya thin masking tape, which I believe is about 2 millimeters, and then I sprayed it with a black primer, rotating the wheels as I did it. Then this was dry brushed with Vallejo black brown, which I've shown in a previous video, and any silver parts that still showed through, touched up with a black Sharpie marker. Painted the body, masking out the numbers as I wanted to keep them. I didn't want to redecal this, and then I carefully painted around the numbers by hand with a small brush. I put 2 neodymium magnets on either side of the now cleaned motor in order to compensate for the decades of lost magnetism. This is a great way of bringing the motors back to spec and even better, and very inexpensive. And here's the final model running on the layout, pulling the QF coach that's insanely restored the other day, as well as the Lima coach in HO, which I'm using as a reference guide for this project. As you can see, it runs superbly. The neodymium magnets give a new life to the pancake motor, and it runs right across the speed range beautifully. It's not that noisy at all, and it just really came out great. I'm delighted how this basically toy locomotive has come along. It looks wonderful, and it's more than capable of pulling a full rated coach. It's probably 6 to 8. I touched up the buffers in silver and touched up the whistles on the top with gold paint. And here it is coming to a slow stop. The Lima HO4F. You can't say enough good things about Lima in the 1970s. They produced wonderful models at very low prices that all these decades later are still running